rest. If you do the right thing, the rest of them will do. So meekly I get up. I try to pull my other siblings. With great difficulty, all of us come. Some crying, some upset. We sit in the car. When we are reaching near the hospital, my middle sister says, "We are going to the hospital. And you are not even doing a night duty. Why did you ask us to come out of the hall?" My mother was quiet. My father said two things. First, somebody is in distress and they want your mother's presence to feel secure. The second thing, you are here in your leisure time. No studies, leisure time, you have come here. The cinema is going to be here for many weeks, maybe a month. I can bring you back. But you are leaving the hall, you are coming with me, gives your mother happiness, is creating happiness. So volunteering is belief in a cause. And thing I'm telling you. And money, it is philanthropy. But when you give back your time and your skills, that is volunteering. We are taking, the mother is giving her life. When we are growing up inside her, nourishing us with her milk. When we are most vulnerable, we are being taken care of by father, grandfather, elders, teachers, everybody is giving us. And the most important thing, air, to always give back. And I believe giving back is volunteering. Thank you.
If you would like to...
That was very nice speaking. It was lovely to see you and listen to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Sonal, for having me here. All of us, each of us have a story to tell, and I'm sure everyone in the audience, we all have had our life's experiences that has shaped us or is shaping us. So, volunteerism means giving back to the society, but I was just trying to remember when was the first time I ever heard of this or what changed my life. So it was like, I think I was in school, and my dad, who was a politician and social worker, as I was very ashamed to tell my friend that he was a politician, so I told him, please tell me something. Listening to that conversation, and he said, so crowded, but up his people he knew, and they did all the station. Now the point here is, we normally think of society in three circles. There's an individual, there's a family and friends, and there is a larger society. People that we don't know. Okay. Normally what, right? Or any such thing. Right? Or any such thing for that matter. There is someone that you know. See, the problem is, we often think of volunteering when you're volunteering with YI or a Buckle Foundation or Swabhiman, or when you're volunteering with YI or a Buckle Foundation or Swabhiman or Hamara Bachpan Trust. But as an individual, there are times when you have gone out of your way to help someone. Maybe known to you, the problem in India is, we often don't bother too much about people that we don't know. But there is a lot of personal volunteering that happens. People, and for us, family, uncle can include 1,000 people. Right? Our circle of uncles, for me, Shruti Appa's mother would also be uncle and auntie for me. Right? So similarly, vice versa. So that is something that is there. Connect to it. If you Google, I'm sure all of you use Google still in the age of ChatGPT. If you Google image and you type the word volunteer, you know what you'll get? You'll get variations of a raised hand. When do we raise hands? My earliest memory of raising hands would be maybe in class 1, the teacher asking, who will get the duster from the other room? Right? You raise hands there. You raise hands to ask questions. You raise hands to answer. Now, remember something. Whenever you raise hand because you have the option of not raising your hand. But there are many occasions in which you choose not to raise hands. You choose to remain passive. But whenever you are taking initiative, which is why volunteering.
Thank you. I'm sure a lot of the room is full with volunteers only. So the next set of questions that I would like to ask, starting from Dharithri. Your organization, Hamara Bachpan Trust, is focused on women and children. Why did you choose that? And what, in brief, if you can explain, what was the greatest takeaway by starting this organization and what is the impact?
Yeah, I just mentioned why I started working with women and children. And I've had a career of more than 2.5 decades working on human rights issues, women rights and child rights. But why Hamara Bachpan Trust? And I've always worked with large international organizations, donor organizations. And then that's when I realized that I've had enough of the talk shops and the workshops and the hype and the superficiality and the hypocrisy. So, no offense meant to a sector that has done a lot, but after I had a dream to go to Tata Institute of Social Sciences. My reasons again were there why I chose criminology and masters in social. I wanted to go to the world's best university in public policy. So I went to Harvard University and did my second master's there. I ticked off all the boxes, but I wasn't happy inside. There was something that was still bothering me, that I was getting paid for something which I felt I shouldn't be, and I was seeing the kind of money and funds that were getting spent. So I thought of doing something, and that's when Hamara Bachpan Trust came. I was working as a senior country rep of a Dutch foundation, and we used to fund governments and non-profits working on early childhood. And at that point, I was doing, since I'm a public policy 11, 12, and I found nowhere was like special schemes like JN and URM there, and I just did a control F and wrote children, nothing was found. And that's when I started working on how do we get children into public policy. Because if you want change, yes, I really appreciate and acknowledge and thank people who volunteer, because every drop makes a solution. But impact is by people for people. So we started working with their capacities, making them leaders, women. So Hamara Bachpan Trust has only 2 people who are not from the slums of Bhubaneswar. Hamara Bachpan used to work in 14 cities in 10 states of India. Now we work in 3 states. In Bhubaneswar itself, we work in 200 slums. And the trustees of Hamara Bachpan Trust are our former child leaders. So the whole purpose is that children, women, they have got many students from different universities called schools have also volunteered, have shared our exactly.
I would like to ask you, what is the most important challenge you face while volunteering?
Actually, I take from you're speaking. Volunteering is a way of life. You're always volunteering, but you're not conscious of it. One of fiat, a second-hand fiat, and every other day you get down the road, you get down and push it. But this was everywhere. My parents were there, weddings, somebody sick to the hospital, somebody missed a train in Bhubaneswar, take them all the way to Cuttack. So I practically grew up seeing volunteering, and we were helping each other, and my challenges began only after I met with the accident. That's when the first thing I did after my rehabilitation and coming back to Bhubaneswar is I volunteered for Red Cross. What were my challenges with physical? So whether I can go to a place or not, whether I can access a building or not, is there a vehicle in which I can get into? So these are very specific problems. The second big problem which I face even now is attitude. See, we are disabled. Some are disabled from birth. I met with an accident. I have a disability. But I have compensated my disability. I'm comfortable with my disabled body. I'm on a wheelchair. I can go everywhere. And I need a personal assistant or a caregiver to help me with my very activities of daily living. So I'm comfortable. But the problem is the other half. They don't look at my abilities. They get stuck with a wheelchair, what I cannot do. So that has been my greatest problem. The physical challenges we have been able to overcome now. India is one of the strongest legal and policy environment to protect our rights, and we it. But we have still a long, long way to go.
So, what are some of the areas? I mean, for a young person, suppose he wants to start volunteering, but they don't know where to start from. What is your suggestion? How do they start?
You keep the most difficult questions for me. She somehow upset with me because I couldn't respond to her calls on time. See, I am sitting in a panel where the three other personalities are very revered, very respected, and they are very loved, from Shruti ma'am to Dharipti ma'am to Sujit Babu. They love them. After that, see, first if love is there, respect is involved. But they are loved. And I will not claim that for myself. Thank you. Volunteer, like I said,
Animal, I mean, there are many organizations like SFA, there is Animal Workers, Kamra, all of them run on volunteers. In fact, in these organizations,